Hi, my name is Nathan, and today we're going to do a comic book review of Extreme Carnage Agony, brought to you by RatedComics. Now let's get to it. In this connecting issue, here's where we're at with the story. The alien symbiote called Venom was forced to spawn 5 offspring called the Life Foundation symbiotes. Each has its own ability and color. The purple symbiote is Agony. Along with the 3 other Life Foundation symbiotes, Agony has had a violent path, hopping from host to host, following the pull of the one symbiote god Null. Now free, Agony has forged a new path. Now with this Life Foundation symbiotes, they reach out through one another through a telepathic link they all share, the Hive. Carnage has left a trail of bodies in his path, using the Life Foundation symbiotes as his willing, accomplices. Now we get into the story where in Senator Crane's office in Washington, D.C. weeks ago, we get a deputy communications director named Gemma. She is told to go fetch some coffee by this dude who's part of the campaign. And she's like, I'm not an assistant. And he's like, you're supposed to do whatever we need you to do. So I need you to fetch us some coffee and I need a double espresso. So when she goes to the coffee shop, she's obviously livid and pissed about it being undermined. So as she leaves to go back to the office, now this would take place in this King in Black, the symbiote dragons, and that's how she comes across Agony, the symbiote. In present time, we get Senator Crane's son, Arthur Crane, brings her favorite drink, white peppermint mocha with soy milk, and this obviously impresses her. Now, they talk about the Friends of Humanity campaign and how Arthur's dad, Senator Crane, is really working her, but you know what? You're doing a great job. If he doesn't appreciate you at all, keep up the good work. You know what, Gemma? You should do something that makes you feel better. So she, puts her finger through her hair. She's like, you know what? I will do something that makes you feel better. I will go out for a run. So while Gemma is going out for a walk, these thugs come up to her and say, hey, cutie, why don't you give us a smile? She's like, oh, okay, good ladly. Don't threaten me with a good time. And a good time you shall have, Agony. And I had no idea that Agony can spit out acid. And these guys are in for a flesh-eating awakening. The acid is eating through their skin alive. She's slashing their heads off. She's screaming. Skin is being peeled. This is a really great illustration. And Agony, Gemma underneath that symbiote, is having fun with it. You should really smile more, cutie. And takes a chunk out of his head. Symbiote, backs off, and she's like, okay, that did make me feel better. And not only did she tell you that it makes you feel better, even other people in the office the following day are like, Gemma, you look refreshed. Woo! Okay, I'm having a little bit too much fun with it. This latte is kicking it. Arthur tells you know what? Dad knows I support his campaign and he's having his grievances with his dad. I just don't agree with the way he operates things. It's unacceptable. And then Arthur Crane makes a proposition to Gemma, saying that he's considering running for office one day. I don't want to get ahead of myself, maybe not against my dad, but when I do decide to run for office, I could use a good director of communications. And Gemma's like, oh, I like that. Okay, what are you foreshadowing here? Meanwhile, at Flash's place, he asks Hank for an update, and Hank tells him, I've been tracking Senator Crane's movement as part of his entourage, and it's amazing what people will say in front of you when they consider you unimportant. In other words, Crane's planning to hold his Friends of Humanity event on the same day at the same time at the co-op event with the president. So Andy, the silent symbiote, thinks to herself, does Carnage seriously think that he's gonna get away with assassinating the president in broad daylight? And Flash is like, he absolutely does, and we need to stop him. Toxin, in teenager form, puts it mildly that if Carnage succeeds tomorrow, he'll throw the whole country into chaos. So now they deduce, and Hank is like, well, hold up, is Senator Crane Carnage? Bro, are you like Venom or something? And Flash is like, look, I'm sorry for not telling you this, because Flash was like, he told him only parts of the mission, but he didn't tell him that he was anti-Venom or on a symbiotic mission. I just want to keep you safe. Flash asks Andy if she can go into the Hive and see what their plan is, and she's like, okay, well, I'll do that, but I've been worried that when I go into the Hive, it's like a two-way street. I worry if I do that if I go looking for Carnage, that I might find him staring right back at me, but she does it anyway. So back at Gemma's apartment, it's kind of funny how it's dark humor at its best, but she uses the souvenirs and memorabilia of her dinner escapade at the park as apartment decorating. And it's like, well, I would have used the other arm as a matching set, but hey, now I just gotta find another arm to eat. I ate that arm. I'm sorry, girl. A symbiote girl's gotta eat, right? So Carnage steps in, Agony, my darling. And it's cool when Carnage steps in, it perceives like an illustration of what Carnage is. It embodies Carnage in totality. And I think it's a really good illustrative idea that when Carnage gets in the building, everything embodies Carnage. You know, they talk about tomorrow what the plan is. It's time for team bonding, and allow me to get you a seat, make you a drink. Everyone's waiting for you, and we see Agony, Phage, Scream, I believe Riot, and these other symbiotes that are part of the Life Foundation. Gemma asks, well, you're missing a couple. You mean Silence and Toxin? Oh, they'll be at the event. Even though Carnage proposed to Toxin to be part of the Life Foundation and he refused, well, he'll be at the event. So Andy steps out the symbiote hive, tells Flash Carnage knows we're coming. He's got the other Life Foundation symbiotes and they're waiting for us. So Hank is like, how am I supposed to help without a symbiote? Flash Thompson gets his anti-venom suit. Andy forms into Silent Symbiote, and Teenage Boy forms into his Toxin symbiote suit. And I call him Teenage Boy because I totally forgot his name. But anyways, so the next day, the president commemorates his speech. And as his speech is about to end, Gemma gives the call. The president's dedication is just about to finish. It's time for your speech, sir. To the friends of humanity. He leaves. Gemma raises her, like in the high form, her martini blood glass with the hand holding it as a stem. That's very creative and clever. And then as she raises her cocktail in the air, all the pieces are in place, and it's like a very sinister plan. Hank is like, okay, the senator's about to make a speech. Where are you guys? Meanwhile, at a distant location, they don't sense any of the other symbiotes. So they concluded, or they figured, Senator Crane was Carnage. But it's not Carnage. They had it all wrong. He's not after the president at all. Crane is the target, and I believe it's the son. And as soon as they figured out, Hank gets shanked from behind by Carnage, attaboy, showing the reveal that Arthur Crane is Carnage. I pretty much gave away the full story of this book. I just got into this book when I read it, and I'm sorry about that, but this is definitely worth the read. I left some pieces out of the book, some plot points, but that's okay. I got really into the story, and I'm not sorry about that. Usually I leave a little meat on the bone for you guys, but yeah, this was fantastic and such a plot twist that I wasn't expecting. And this is definitely worth adding to your comic book collecting set, if you will. Link in description, by the way. With that being said, Extreme Carnage Agony. What you guys think of the comic book? Comment below, let me know. And if you want to get a copy of your Extreme Carnage Agony, link in description below. And if you like the content we're throwing in, you know what to do. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.